So here we go. It's time to chat about sports and a lot of other things. Very warm welcome to our World Sports Betting Saturday show. We're here for the next hour and a bit to chat about everything. Rugby, bit of cricket. There's not much soccer. Obviously, there's World Cup qualifiers that we'll get into. Maybe a bit of Formula One and also about road trips up north because someone's gone on another holiday and he's just come back refreshed. And, well, we're going to start off with Rod McCurdy because he's just come back from the bush. Did you see, well, first of all, I'm glad that your wife and your sister managed to survive all the lions, the hippos, the rhinos, the snakes, and the rods.
And the elephants.
Yes, and
Elephants,
the rods.
yeah.
Yes, how was it, matey?
What do you say? I didn't even find that funny.
This elephant.
It was hilarious. Oh, there was a
The
cracker.
problem is this elephant doesn't have a big trunk.
I wouldn't say that. Carry on, Rod.
They
Oh,
were,
you don't.
they were calling me Jumbo up there. So.
Oh, yeah. We know why, though.
Because I got in the pool and all the water went out.
How was it?
It was brilliant, hey? I've never, I mean, I've gone probably 80 times to the park now in 30 odd
More
years.
than that, I think.
Yeah, oh, well, I'm just
80 times this year.
Yeah, exactly.
6 this year. Yeah. So it was brilliant. I mean, I've never been to a place where you actually don't drive. Like normally you go to the Kruger, which I love, you drive around, you're a bit tired after 4 or 5 hours. But we only drove in the park about 1 kilometre. It's about 5 hours away from Joburg. And you turn in the gate and this is what we're seeing.
What's that?
What's that? Cherry.
Oh.
What is it? What is it? Go on, take a stab in the
It's a tree with a bit of
I'm so
sand.
excited. I think it's a lion.
We drove in the gate about 1 kilometre. There was those two, plus there was another two. They just killed a buffalo.
Is he alive?
Well, there's blood all over him. Look, he's got blood all over him.
He looks dead.
Yeah, this is at Meningi Lodge. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Meningi.
Meningi. Spell it.
I couldn't.
I know. Yeah, beautiful, hey? M-I-N, you want to go and look it up, M-I-N-I-N-G-H-I, Meningi Lodge.
H.I.
H-I.
Okay.
So it was brilliant. And then, so that was our start. We'd only just got in. We'd seen that. There's a buffalo there. There's vultures around and these 4 lions panting and puffing and whatever. Fantastic, eh? So then you drive down to the lodge. Now, I just want to tell you a little secret. They can pop up the next one. I think they got it in order.
Oh, not another
We've
one.
got hundreds of
This
them.
is on safari.
Well,
This is
people
called.
know that's
Oh,
true.
that's brilliant.
That's the right
Oh, that's
order.
an elephant. Is that an elephant?
We're sitting about 15 metres from this. You're sitting under a lapa, and there's no
Under a
fence.
what?
A lapa.
What's that?
It's like a big
Tree?
No, it's a big thing. Anyway, we're sitting under there looking at Brian, whatever, no fences, and they were just walking around us. We had
You've got
giraffe.
chairs there.
That's where I was sitting. That's where I was sitting. I had to make a run for it. I promise you. I was sleeping, reading my book.
You were sleeping reading your book.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they had a fantastic braai area. Just if they got the picture of the braai area.
Oh, come
Here it is.
There it is. Is that
Is
the
that
lion?
Stephen Carron?
Stephen Carron.
How did
made
he
it
get there?
I want to tell you something. There's a short story to tell you. No one has ever been lost going from the gate to the thing. Because the signpost is so well, it's got the numbers, we're in number 16, so you just keep following, if it says 1 to 20, you're in the right direction. No one, in 3 years that this lodge has been open, Meningi, have ever been lost. An hour and a half later, we had to go out and start looking for him. He got lost. They even had, and I don't want to be saying anything political, but even the bus where they took up a blind driver went up there with the blind school and they didn't get lost. He's the only guy to be lost ever. The guy said to him, it's impossible to get lost. Hour and a half later, he drove round and round. And there's all other people staying at like private houses and whatever. He met them all, had cups of tea. So he can get a free trip when he goes back, but it was fantastic. And I just want to say one other thing about Stephen. What a briar. Unbelievable. Quick around the braai, eh?
Is it?
He's quick. He just turns and does that.
Stephen
but-
Carron.
How's he go? Show us how he goes.
Like that, and he
very
flips
good.
it and he spins
Just like
and
that.
whatever. But we had a great time, eh? My sister from Australia, we're already booked for February.
Any more
again.
photographs?
That's it.
Oh.
Do you want more?
Well, I was, safari.
But I tell you what, Terry, even you would enjoy it because you
think
don't
so.
have to go and drive.
5 hours drive, actually. Drive me
Yeah,
back.
you spend a week there, mate. You just sit and relax and refreshments every now and then. So, very good. Great.
I'm glad you survived the trip because last Saturday when you left, we had the greatest party at your place. All invited the whole of.
Sean
There was a
did
street
well.
party. Have you ever watched Bad Neighbours?
Yes,
Project
yes, I
X.
have.
Yeah, that type of party outside your house and in your house, and they used your bedroom as the bar area.
I was thinking more risky
don't know.
business as a
So
movie.
it's
it?
unbelievable.
It's got an unusual smell in the house. We only got back yesterday. Don't know what that is. Anyway,
Dung
we'll-
beetles.
Yeah, we'll smell something like that. We'll tidy it up. But it was a great trip, guys. It really was. If you ever want to do it, give us a shout. The guys said they'll offer special for the teletrack guys. I'm trying to help you out with a great deal. There we go. Really good. Fantastic.
Okay, so we've already welcomed Dom, sort of. Dom?
Morning, Alistair.
Yeah, lots of good racing today.
Lovely racing. We got the Matcham Stakes and the Diana Stakes. World Sports sponsored both races. Great horses prepping for the big races coming up, and in Joburg as well. We got good racing.
Well, hopefully we race. What was it like in the south, by the way? Because that's your neck of the woods. Was there a lot of rain last night?
There was a bit of rain, and when I was driving to work, it was a hard drizzle. So yeah, we're hoping that it blows away. And but yeah, you know what? The gain's going to change now. The form's going to change a bit. The gain's going to be soft. We've been racing on hard gain. The only good side of it is that we've got good horses coming up and good races to look forward to.
I'm just going to backtrack when we welcome Liam, because talking about Rod's bra technique and also Stephen Karam's, you are known as a bit of a bra master as well. Was
Who
Stephen?
said this to you?
You said it to me.
I would never say that. No. I'll just put a chop in your mouth and that's it.
Very good.
I said chop, nothing else.
How's Stephen Karam's bra technique? I mean, it looks like he's driving
That sounds
a
like
bus steering
looks
wheel.
like somebody driving a bus.
Yes.
No, that didn't look very convincing, to be honest.
What's your bra technique?
I don't think I should show it right now. But there is a technique.
Okay. I hope you
Flip it when it's necessary. You know.
okay.
You leave the meat until you really need to touch it.
There we go. That's some advice for you, some life advice. When was the last time you bra'd, Terry?
I don't bri, matey.
What do you mean you don't bra? You're South African now.
Not quite, but
He's
I'm not a
converted.
bri man. No, I'm not. I don't like all that.
You're vegetarian.
Not quite, but
What are you then?
just normal. Like most people.
Don't you, once you get, like I've got a gas weaver and just do it on that. I can't do that.
Horrible, that crap.
What do you mean?
No,
What,
not-
don't
not
you
for
like
me.
steak?
You're not
Chops?
supposed to eat the charcoal.
Oh, what's that?
Alistair, you missed an opportunity. I thought you were going to say octogenarian, and he would have said, not quite.
Yeah, I would have done. Not quite.
What is it? A knocker?
A knockeritarian. Yeah, knockeritarian. Hey.
Okay.
Brian, not for you.
Not for me, mate, I'm afraid. No, not for me.
Do you like game parks?
Nah. Once you've seen one, you've seen the lot.
They do different things. I'm going to take you up there. I'm going to take you in hilly, hey?
Yep.
Would you? You wouldn't survive the
I
drop.
don't think
wouldn't,
Terry
exactly
in the back of
right.
a boot for 5 hours.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Imagine him
Very tight in the boot.
Imagine him whinging the whole way there. How long?
It'll
would
be
that-
like the
Are
opening
we
And
there
whinging
yet?
when I get there as well.
Why? Really?
Yeah, I've done all those.
You've done it once.
No, they're more than that, matey.
It'll be like the opening scene in Goodfellas.
Yeah, quite right.
Do you even know what that is?
No.
Didn't think so. Good fellas with these two. Right, we are going to start off with rugby. Big game down at Newlands, and obviously Liam's going to give his opinions with this. South Africa.
Hope he
5-1.
gets it right this week.
Well, listen, I mean, to call a draw is not the easiest thing to do.
That was on
27
the
all
spread, wasn't it?
last weekend.
They went for the.
I went for the
South
box to beat
African
the
spread.
spread.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's actually chat about last weekend. Any steps forward after losing 57-0 a fortnight earlier, or are we pretty much stuck in the same place?
It's weird in that you almost have to look at those games in isolation, because South Africa made the same mistakes that they did in Perth. Obviously, after that they went to Albany and they caught
The
the
whole
All
game
Blacks
was a
on
mistake.
on a very good day. And then last week they played with lots of intent, had lots of possession, and couldn't quite make it stick when they had all those opportunities. Where Australia, the other side of the coin, when they had a sniff, the game breakers got into the game and they certainly made the Springboks pay. So as much as they will talk about they take lessons out of that game from last week, I don't think too many of them will apply this week.
I think the biggest thing that we've learnt this week, though, and I mean, Dom and I talk about teamwork a hell of a lot. I don't think you'll know this, Dom, because we all know that your rugby knowledge is about as good as that cups. Being honest, I mean, honesty is the way
It's
to go.
about the same as your racing knowledge. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes, for that, matey. Well done.
Yes, you were saying teamwork.
Talk about teamwork. You see New Zealand, Liam, throughout the entire week. Go down to Cape Town, do a whole lot of good things for the region, and it's testament to the teamwork that they've got, the way they go about their business, their professionalism, and just the way they conduct themselves off the field.
Well, up to a point. I mean, they do these things, and there is the PR part of it. But, some of the players from time to time also get up to mischief. I mean, I don't have to point fingers in that side, as you would well know. But as a group, as a collective, they certainly have done some good things. But
that's all part and parcel
But
of-
boys are boys from time
That's
to
all
time.
part and parcel when they come over, isn't it? Isn't that all
I mean,
arranged?
they went to some, this wasn't really a goodwill thing, but they had a sponsors engagement yesterday. where it was pandemonium when the Cape Townians found out that they were going to be at the store, and I think more than 1,000 people turned up.
It's pandemonium normally when Dom Zaki walks through the doors here at Teletrack because they know that trouble's on the way.
That's it.
Actually, exact a carryover here with you two.
Hey, listen.
It's been a nice week without you, you know.
Has
that?
it? Been quiet. Thank you.
Aussie previews have been done nicely.
Have they?
Yeah.
And
I
with his
actually missed you,
With
Ross.
success.
I actually missed you. There was a lot of,
Oh,
you know, a lot
different
of people
than what you
went out
told
of,
me.
A lot of people went out of place here when you were gone.
Oh,
this
did
last
they?
year. Yeah,
Oh,
you got to
Phil-
set them back
Just
straight
fill me in,
next
matey.
week. Yeah.
Yep, fill me in. We'll sort that out.
Get the shambok out.
No, I don't do any of that. I promise you.
Since when?
I
When
don't.
you go to Rod's office
Yes?
and he closes the door behind you,
You know you're in trouble.
you know you're in big trouble.
Really?
If you leave the door open, you've got a chance, half a chance.
Or you can outrun him. That's the biggest chance you've got. Speaking of outrunning, Liam, how far should the All Blacks outrun the Springboks today? Is there any hope for the Springboks today?
As much as I don't know about rugby, there's no hope. I'm sorry.
Well, I think Liam was going to say the same thing.
I couldn't have said it better, Dom. I don't think there is that much hope. You would have to hope for something really out of the ordinary. There would have to be a red card or two.
Or two.
You'd have to, yeah. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
If you look at what happened in the previous game, if you look at the Springbok team selection of this weekend, there's a couple of players who are playing out of position, and it almost smacks of desperation. I mean, it's not that the coaching staff have that many options either. So, you know, as much as you want to get on their backs, they are limited.
Two
What-
questions.
Hang on. What about home advantage? What about
They're
being
playing
at
at
home?
Well, they put 57 on the box last year in Durban. So
that counts for nothing.
Yeah. Look at it this way: the All Blacks, since 2009, when the Box beat them, have only lost one game. This is now outside of the World Cup years when they tend to rest key players in the Rugby Championships or the Tri-Nations. They've lost only one game
Was that in
outside
America?
of that.
Was that in America?
And that was no. I'm saying in the Rugby Championships, in the
That's
either
these
the
four-
Tri-Nations
these four
or
sides
the
that
Rugby
play each other
Championships.
here.
Yeah,
And that
that's
was
crap.
and that took a Pat Lambie penalty from vast distance to get the job done. So they're not in the habit of losing, and I could see very few reasons why they should slip up today.
Well, the players who played in Argentina last week, they rested a few, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. They're back.
So they've brought them all back.
Not all of them.
Oh.
Brody Retallick, family bereavement, couldn't make it, but for the rest, they're all there.
And the Beast, there's something happened I picked up when I was away.
Yeah, something did happen, and he won't be playing, which is
Okay.
not necessarily a bad thing, because at some point you have to unleash a player like Steven Kutsoff, see what he's about from the start, and there's probably no greater platform for him to do that.
Although I think Beast has actually been one of our best players so
Yes.
far this year. But I think Terry actually brought up a very good point by accident
Oh, yeah.
about home ground advantage at Newlands. Does it exist against the All Blacks?
Not the All Blacks have a very good record at Newlands. That's the other thing. I think the Boks have only beaten them 3 times in 9 contests down there. So, you know, it hasn't over the years counted for much. The Boks' best chance of beating the All Blacks had always been at altitude,
I'm actually
and
gonna-
that hasn't even worked over the last few
I'm
years.
actually going to ask Rod this question because Rod's always the most critical about South African sports and sometimes quite rightly. As someone like you, what would actually be a good result for the Springboks? What will you turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to get off their back next week? And that's a genuine question.
Score a point.
Yes.
Yeah, I can only do
That bad?
Well, no. If
Well,
you
it'd be
take
better
a
than last time.
57-0, and then when they played in Durban last year, what was the scoreline then?
57-15.
So, you know, I don't know. 20 points, if you can get within 20 points, I don't know, I'm not sure what the spread is today.
That's
16 and a half.
You know, well, you can't. Are they good enough to be within 16 and a half? No, being honest. And
I don't think so. No.
hey, I mean, as much as, you know, the heart and everyone wants to, you know, hope they do well, but is it.
Yes.
That's gone. I even asked the guys up there, we were looking for it. We went out in the game drive for about 3 hours looking for it. Wasn't up there.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
Given up
We
the ghost.
Looked everywhere for it. No. So it hasn't gone north. And it's not in the south because Don would have picked it up.
Yeah, I would have picked it up.
I don't know where I don't know where it is now.
I want to ask you, you know, like when horses travel from one centre to another centre, you always hope that they travel well. Is it the
Yes.
same with rugby players?
I don't know. I'm not a rugby player, but
Well, there was that.
Maybe they never travelled
there
well.
was that rugby team in South America who didn't quite make it over the Andes.
Oh,
So you have exceptions.
sure.
Did you just go there?
Did you see the
You asked
film?
a-
Great
you asked a
film.
legit question.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Wasn't it a good
No,
film?
it's starving.
Yeah.
They
Starving.
were.
Some of them were.
They were starving. Well, that's what the movie is.
That's a yellow card.
No,
that's
that's
a
a
10
shocker, that.
minute warning.
But I don't know. It's just. Oh, I didn't mean to say that.
Pick the bones out.
He put his foot in it, eh?
Whoa.
Pick the bones out of that.
Well, I mean, just
No, it's offside.
you started
Stop
it.
fingering me.
You started it.
But when you travelled, Terry, you as a soccer player, did it really matter that you were travelling?
Oh, I think so. I mean,
Did you get too tired and called it off? Or?
He's been to every country in the world, so he qualifies
don't
to
forget,
answer this.
in my day, I mean, you do anything about 6 hours an hour, it'd take you about 26 hours to get
Yeah,
somewhere.
but you have to pedal the planes in your day.
Yeah, but Brazil, as a football team, refused to play if they had to travel a long distance. Refused to play about 4 days after they arrived because of the jet lag in those days, etc. Really affected the performances. But how long have they been here now? The All Blacks.
Probably
how long
a
have they been? here?
Well, a week. And
So
they were
that's
flown
plenty
in
of time.
from Argentina, so not that big.
And the Super 18 guys, Terry, do it every single week.
Yeah,
so
no,
they're
no.
going there, they're flying there, they're going to Japan, they're going all over.
And some of
Yeah,
the players,
because
as Rod pointed out, didn't play last week, so
Yeah.
some of them are rested. Some of the
Yeah.
key players were rested.
No, but the travel is a lot quicker now, isn't it? And more comfortable than certainly in our day.
Do they fly business class?
Yeah.
Well, some of those guys.
If, yeah,
didn't fit the
I would
seat.
say most of them. You can't always squeeze all of them in.
Yeah,
there,
I was
but
thinking.
yeah.
It's quite a big contingent.
Aaron Smith will probably have to sit in the back.
When you
somewhere.
flew, was it business class?
First.
Did you really?
Yeah.
First class?
First class.
Did they have first class those days?
Well, I think that was all they had, one class, first class.
But how many biplanes did it take you to get there?
Don't ask him why it's called that because it,
What,
Yeah.
a biplane? Yeah.
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 No,
Yeah, anyway.
You're an aviation expert. Help me.
twin wings
Exactly.
Ah.
There we go.
Oh, now he understands. Go on.
Oh, there we go.
on each side.
What do you think about the Springbok selection, by the way? Because there's all this talk about the loose forwards that have been picked.
And rightly so.
I'm also baffled.
And rightly so, you've got Franz Rollo playing number 8.
Has he ever had an 8 on his back?
I'm sure at some point he would have.
School days.
And then you've got Peter Steve Toy starting on the blind side flank again. He simply hasn't performed well when he's played number 7 for the Springboks. I mean, you can go back to all the tests he's done that in. They've been fairly calamitous, actually. If you look at the guy's ability, you would think, and I can see why they maybe did it in the first place, but they've burnt their hands so many times with this, that he does have the sort of building blocks to be a good 7, but it's never actually translated itself onto the field. So it is baffling that they've gone back there. But as I said earlier, I mean, they are rather desperate for, or limited with choices, so it's a bit of a stab in the dark.
How do you see then going forward? We're 2 years away from the World
I
Cup.
was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you ask it then. It'll be only good
Going
question you
forward,
ask.
where they say they South Africa, I mean,
At this stage, Terry, you can make these incremental improvements. So if you get out of this test and you're still fairly unscathed, and you go on an end of year tour and you win all those matches, you have 4 tests at the end of the year. Stick with the same players, you build confidence. Then by the start of next year, you should have at least the skeleton of the
who do they
Springbok
play
team.
at the end of those 4 games? Who are they against?
Well, they go to Dublin first. They play Ireland. They
We'll
play
get
France.
beat there, yeah.
They play France. Then they play Italy, and then they play Wales.
Ireland are up to
What
number
about
3, aren't
England?
they?
Why not
They're not
England?
playing England this year.
Why,
They're
a bit
too-
frightened?
No, they don't qualify to play them. They're too high up in the rankings.
Oh, I see.
So we're Ireland's 3 now, isn't it? South Africa 4 and Australia 5. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's about right. Yeah, so
Where's South Africa then?
they're 4th.
Fourth.
Oh, 4th.
Yeah, Australia are 5th.
Are they?
What are you saying like that? Do you know? I want to tell
Oh,
you.
by the way, well done. Well done, eh? Australia, eh? World Cup. How did you go this week?
I don't get that. What happened?
You played Syria, matey.
Played Syria.
Yeah.
Syria.
Did they bomb them off the pitch?
No. You drew 1 each. You
Did
go
they?
play on Tuesday. You got to win on Tuesday.
Jeez, please don't go on holiday again if you're going to
I
come
know.
back in this mood.
Amazing.
Trying to get back into the swing of things. Oh, really? So, would they beat them by?
1-1.
Oh, it was a draw, so they're through.
Tuesday, you play Tuesday.
Where now? Was that away?
Yes.
It was in
Okay.
Malaysia. Was it a neutral venue?
Neutral. You
Where's
can't
it-
go
where-
and play in Syria.
Yeah, it wasn't. They didn't have a Damascus experience.
Playing Lebanon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's playing Lebanon.
You should beat Lebanon. I mean, this is their striker.
Chikorika. Who? What's his name?
Your son.
Try Mexico.
So where's the next league in Australia?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So if they win,
So if you win that, then
you're
you
through.
play. No, then you have to play the 5th place side from South America.
Ooh, that'll be tough
And
because
I'm
they're
not
all
sure
good.
if that's done,
No. Play the fourth place side from North America.
Oh, North America. That's quite right.
Because
you're
South
quite right.
America play New Zealand.
That's why they got 8 the other way.
okay.
Yes.
That's why they got 8 of that.
So what's your chance of getting through?
Well, they should win. They should beat Syria. So,
But Australians have been known to be a disappointment.
Terry, I got 2 winners for you in the soccer today.
yeah.
He's got about 8.
I've got about 20 if you want.
Cameroon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, the qualifiers for the
Yeah.
World Cup. And Bafana.
Yeah, they'll win today. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Bafana.
Bafana will win today.
We'll get to that.
Have we
In a minute.
transitioned to football yet?
Not yet. No,
apparently
it's
we
Rod's
have.
fault.
Because, are we done with the rugby?
Yeah,
No, we're not.
No, we're not done.
done with
No.
rugby because I also
No,
want to
we've
chat
only
to you
been on
about-
for 20 minutes. Carry on.
Do you want to ask about the next game then?
What about this game?
Oh, so we're done with the Springboks as well?
I don't know
Yeah.
how much are New Zealand going to win, but are South Africa going to leave Newlands with their pride intact? Last question.
Only because of the goodwill and spirit from the people of Cape Town. No, look, I think the All Blacks will beat the spread.
Will and spirit. What number is he? What number is he playing for?
I think the All Blacks will beat the spread, but it won't be as disastrous as Albany a few weeks ago, I think.
So you like them to beat the spread of 16.5?
No, I'm still saying the All Blacks will beat the spread.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the winning margin won't be as great as it was.
Do you think there'll be a tremendous roar up if they score a point? Do you think it'll be
There
like
might just
winning the
be
game?
the ironic roar. Yeah, there'll be there's no question.
And you were saying...
But look, if you look at, you asked earlier about the World Cup and their prospects there.
Yes.
You can only make those little changes as you go along. If you look at the number of caps the Boks had in their side last weekend, you immediately get the impression that this is certainly a side that has to develop quite quickly over the next 2 years. By comparison, last weekend, a team like Montpellier and a team like Stade Francais had more caps with 6 players than the entire Springbok team that played last weekend.
Really?
So, I mean, that in itself tells you that...
But they've got to stick with them now. If that's
I mean, that's the thing. They have limited
stick with them
options.
now.
Yeah.
Let them get to...
I mean, and if it was a disaster down there, if they got beat 50-odd again, coaching-wise, what would happen there? Do you think there'd be any changes?
Well, if somebody did ask, more than one person asked it last year.
It did, yeah.
After 57-15, nothing happened. And of course, they were constrained in terms of the budget that was available to Saru. If they lose again by such a margin, I mean, there's no way that coach.
So if they lose by such a margin again, Alistair Coetzee won't be in charge by the time they get to Dublin, is it? For their first game?
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think Franco Smith or Brendan Fenton.
I think the
just take
pilot
over.
might want to strike or something.
Yeah.
All right, just before we get into racing, we quickly need to get to the Australia-Argentina game. Just quickly, a winner, because we need to talk about race 7.
I'm going to go Australia and to win fairly well. I know that they moaned about the travelling, getting over there. But I think they will get... They're such an organised side. I mean, we saw that last week. And Argentina are all over the place.
Okay, right. Let's get into race number 7 at...
Flemington. I just want to say, I don't know if the guys out there watched Winks win today.
Well, we'll show that after this race from Flemington, because we are going to get a little bit into Durbanville, turf and also football and cricket after the race that's coming up.
21 in a row and
phenomenal.
137 million in stakes.
That's rands, by the way.
Rands, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so race 7 at Flemington.
It's about a 10,000 Aussie dollars. But anyway,
What's going on here?
Flemington race 7. We're going to go with Almanden. And this...
You adventurous, yes?
No, listen, it's adventurous or not, my strike rate's there. It's now about 80% wins. So I don't want to use stories. We got a bit of a value bet in the next race. But Almanden won't get beat in this race. I suggest the guys lump onto this.
Who's riding it?
Damien Oliver.
Yeah. He rode a race yesterday that I wasn't happy with.
Yeah.
Mr. Oliver.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but Almanden, all the sites, the SCAR predictors, all the SCAR ratings, the
same predictor that we show on Teletrack before each race.
No, it's a different one. That's the Gallup predictor, which is quite good. But this is a SCAR predictor. It's an Australian product, top class product, and you can find a lot of winners on it as well. Are we gonna discuss the 8th race?
We won't do that yet. What we are going to do, we are going to take a break in the lead up to Flemington race 7. We shout home Almanden. We'll show you what happened about an hour before we went on air. Winks 21 in a row. She's on her way to the 3rd Cox Plate. This is how she went about her business about an hour ago for those that missed it.
Lock The Winx Spectacular rolls on at Flemington, and they're ready for the Turnbull. Winx a little bit edgy in the barriers. The Signal. Stalls are back and they're racing at the 2,000 metres. Good line 2. Magicool is going to show speed on the inside and lead Ventura Storm. Out deeper on the track, a Sign is trying to push up, and they were followed by Sir Isaac Newton. Winx settles down 5th on the inside of Humidor. Skyfire is last of all as they complete the first 400 metres of the Turnbull. It's the outsider. Magicool in front by 2.5 lengths. Sir Isaac Newton pulls its way up to 2nd. Ventura Storm 3rd the inside. 2 further back in the field is a Sign, followed by Winx, who would spot the speed about 7 or 8. Humidor is 2nd last, trails the great champ, and at the end is Skyfire. Heading towards the 1250, it's Magicool by a length and a half, Sir Isaac Newton. 4 lengths Ventura Storm, 2 further back a Sign. Winx is in plenty of room, plenty of air at the 1200 metres, followed by Humidor, and last of all is Skyfire. They're strung out. Magicool heads towards the 1,000 marker by a length and a quarter, Sir Isaac Newton. They're 4 lengths in front of Ventura Storm. They were followed by a Sign, 3 lengths away to Winx. Then came Humidor on the outside of Skyfire. They come up towards the 800 marker, and it's Magicool about to be tested here by on the outside Sir Isaac Newton, and they're 2 lengths in front of a Sign, Ventura Storm. Winx is ever getting so closer, only about 4 off the lead and stalks them, followed by Humidor, and Skyfire is last around the turn. 500 metres to go. A Sign moves up on the outside of Sir Isaac Newton. A length Ventura Storm. Winx Bowman hasn't flinched. He's doing it easily. And then came Humidor, Magicool and Skyfire across the track at the 300. Winx has ambled up on the outside. Racing Royalty goes to the lead. Racing's Wonder of the World puts up 2 lengths, 3 lengths. Ventura Storm followed by a Sign, but it's all Winx. 5 or 6 lengths in front. Look at her go with 100 metres to go. 21 today on the biggest dance floor of them all. Winx by 8 lengths. Ventura Storm 2nd, Humidor 3rd, 4th a Sign, 5th Sir Isaac Newton, and in a battle of the 300 to 1 shots, Magicool and Skyfire have almost dead heated. Winx, breathtaking, and it was so easy it was scary. Winx has absolutely destroyed them, and Bowman has just had a picnic today, has barely moved. She's something.
But with the tactics today drawn out wide, where do you expect to see him settle?
I think Damien will probably ride him quietly, but we've left that up to him. But I'd expect him to be probably back in the field. Our other horse, Grand Duke of Tuscany, he tends to race on the pace. So we've got the informed jockey there, Mick D, who won a Group 1 for us last Saturday. So you never know, he might win another big race today.
With last week's winner, Foundry, when are we likely to see him again?
Not sure. He's had a pretty quiet week, obviously, since the trip away and the 1.5 mile run, and we'll just wait and see how he's over the next little while and pick out a race for him and go from there.
With the plan for Almandon going forward to defence of the Melbourne Cup, is it still open, or have you mapped out exactly what you'd like to do with him? Because there is a push for him to go to the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, there's a very big push from the chairman of the Melbourne Racing Club, I can assure you. He never stops ringing me about it. But look, our number one priority with the horse, as we've said all along, is to try and hopefully get him to defend his crown here in the Melbourne Cup, and we'll be doing everything we possibly can to ensure he has the best chance of doing that. And, he ran in this race last year and went straight into the Melbourne Cup, and I'd say that's probably the most likely.
It's good to see your father, Lloyd Williams, on That's Racing this week on racing.com.
Yeah, it was terrific. He was there with Hammer and Ross, and, I think he enjoyed it.
I think he did too. Well done, Nick. Good luck.
Good on you, Shane.
Nick Williams there with some insight about the Team Williams runners as the horses get behind the gates here for the Bart Cummings. Gator, such an important race here as we continue our march towards the Melbourne Cup, because if you win this race, you're guaranteed to start in Australia's greatest race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Almandon right at the pointy end of the market, very obviously off that breathtaking win here, second up. With his 61, he drops to the 60 kilo. So you think he has them covered. Really good money, though, for Emily Starr to beat him. This is the first time she's been out to any sort of staying trip since looking like a star as a much younger horse. She had an injury setback. She's come back in terrific order. She's a real danger. Can't wait for this contest. Grand Duke of Tuscany probably leads them here. A couple of other on-speed runners have come out, including Broadside, so I wonder if they'll adopt similar tactics to the ones we saw last time, where he'd certainly set a fearsome speed. Kelstorm and certainly a couple others can roll forward, but he does look your logical leader. Right, a minute till start time here. Race 7 is the Bart Cummings, and Almandon holds the call. They're milling around behind the start. They'll move in shortly for the Bart Cummings. Let's head to our caller, Matty Hill.
Thanks, Gator. Race number 7, the Bart Cummings, and about to be called forwards. So $1.90 you're getting on the Toadell Mandan, out to 2.1 on the official prices. About to be called into the barrier stalls in front of still a decent crowd here at Flemington. Moving up, Grand Duke of Tuscany. Michael D sporting a red distinguishing cap is in the stalls. Grand Duke of Tuscany drawn the inside. Amelie Star goes forward with Yogi. Vonja Mask now goes in. Kinamar is about to come along. Kinamar, who put up a spectacular performance to win the Prince of Penzance Plate last year. There is Tally going in. Pentathlon joins the line. Almandon, current Melbourne Cup favourite and defending champion, goes into the stalls. Kelstorm goes up, and that will leave Harlem. Harlem, impressive winner of the Naturalism, to complete the line. Even money on the Toadell Mandan, 2.2 with the bookies. They're set. Ready? And they're racing in the Bart Cummings. And slow was Vonja Mask, and Kinamar goes back to the end of the field, its usual pattern. Grand Duke of Tuscany sped away again, and after 200 metres at the judge leads 2 lengths to Pentathlon, and they were followed next by Tally, the outside of Amelie Star from Harlem. Vonja Mask, the inside of Kelstorm, as these horses get their positions very easily and early. A couple of lengths Almandon, followed by Yogi, and at the end of the field is Kinamar. Heading towards the 2,000 metre marker, and Grand Duke of Tuscany, every poster winner. This is going to be a solid gallop. Grand Duke of Tuscany's out 8 or 9 lengths in front of Pentathlon and Tally. A length to Amelie Star, followed by Harlem. Vonja Mask, the inner, just wants to go a shade quicker, followed by Kelstorm. 2 lengths away, Almandon. The favourite races alone and in plenty of air at the 1,700 metres. 3 lengths to Yogi, and Kinamar is last. 1,600 out along the riverside, and Grand Duke of Tuscany leads 5 lengths. Tally has got the tough task of bringing the field up to the leader. 3 lengths Pentathlon, 2 lengths Amelie Star, and then Harlem midfield, but a fair way off the lead, about 10 to 12. Vonja Mask, the inner from Kelstorm, and then Almandon, 2 lengths away Yogi, and last of all is Kinamar. So approaching the 1,200 metres, and through halfway they go. Grand Duke of Tuscany has set a solid tempo by 2.5 lengths to Tally. 6 lengths Pentathlon, 2 lengths Amelie Star, followed by Harlem, the outside of Vonja Mask. Then came Kelstorm, followed by Almandon Yogi, and at the end of the field is Kinamar. So 1,000 metres to go. Grand Duke of Tuscany out clear by 2.5 lengths, looking to make all. 3 lengths to Tally, 4 lengths away Pentathlon, 2 lengths Amelie Star, a length and a half Harlem, Vonja Mask, Kelstorm, Almandon, 3 lengths to Yogi, dug up, and they were followed by Kinamar. So approaching the turn, Grand Duke of Tuscany comes up towards the corner, got a couple of cheap fractions approaching the bend, but leads by 3 lengths to Tally, followed by Pentathlon, Amelie Star. Next in the field is Vonja Mask. Almandon now presents to the outside and is running on, and further back is Harlem trying to go with Almandon into the straight at the 350. Grand Duke of Tuscany given a slap with the Persuader, joined and headed by Tally. Amelie Star is chiming in. Almandon and Harlem on the outside have a race on their hands. Approaching the 200, Amelie Star goes to the lead, followed by Almandon, Harlem, Tally, Grand Duke of Tuscany, Kelstorm the outside, but Amelie Star, 100 metres to go, is seeing it out strongly, and Amelie Star is going to win it easily. Amelie Star, Grand Duke of Tuscany, a massive run second, Kelstorm third, Almandon only fourth. Then Harlem, next Yogi, Vonja Mask, and then came Tally, Pentathlon, and a long last, Kinamar.
Almandon only 4th. Well done, Dom Zaki. Ran like a 9-year-old.
Oh, shame.
Would.
Hey.
Don't forget about Empress Palace Queen 10 Shuffle Up Poker upcoming tournaments. The WPT Empress Palace Poker Classic from the 13th to the 21st of October. Buy-ins from free to 40,000 Rand. And don't forget the various venues. We're off to Graceland from the 8th to the 11th of February next year. And the KZN Poker Series in Umfolozi from the 15th to the 19th of November. Visit www.queen10.com or call Candice. I'm sure people have Candice's number. Right, weekly competition. The 1,000 Rand weekly Techie Town competition was won by Zanuel Rasul. Last week's answer was A, Phil Mickelson. That was a President's Cup question. I hope everybody got that right, because if you didn't get that right, that is a poor effort. Now, who was the first
Jeremy Fredericks.
Who was the first bowler to take 10 wickets in a test match innings? Was it A, Anil Kumble, was it B, Jim Laker, or was it C, Jeremy Fredericks? Liam, what's so funny?
Because Terry
Anil
was
Kumble
there.
with the ball in front of his face.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
That gives you a bit of a clue. Terry was there.
Terry was
Definitely there.
Right,
and I'll tell you,
Terry
and I'll
actually
tell you the spin bowler who took the other wicket because he got 19, I think it
Correct, 100%.
was a left-hand springer. He played for Leicestershire.
You
called
can't remember his name.
Tony Locke.
Ah,
Tony Locke.
you're actually
There, how
right.
about that?
I'm glad
That's
one
back
picture
in
there was in
50
black and white, because I'm going to ask Rod something now.
1950 odd.
But please answer with your name and surname. Competition closes Monday at 6 o'clock. SMS your answer to 44472. Terms and conditions apply. SMS costs 50 cents per entry. Standard rates apply. No free SMSs. Now, Rod,
I'm up there. I'm actually going to Techie Town and Woodmead today. I'm going today to buy a new pair of shoes.
Got those on.
They're magnificent.
did you wear those for 7 days
Game
in the bush?
Rangers up there said, where did you get them? They are the best game shoes we've ever seen.
Yeah, and he said, could you get us a new pair?
No, the guys up there were impressed. They said they're best safari shoes we've ever seen.
I'm just going to ask Quibus to put that slide with the question and the answers back up again, because I need to ask Rod something very important here. Very important life lesson, this, Rod.
Yeah.
Which animal would be able to see all of those pictures clearly?
I was told, and I hope they didn't tell me stories, because I told a lot up there. The rangers told me up there the only animals that can actually see in colour are monkeys.
So only a monkey would be able to make
Baboon
head
or
or
the
tail.
vervet monkeys, yeah. I never knew that.
And how do they prove that?
They asked them. I don't know. Do you see?
Yeah, but how can they prove they see colours? Dogs can only see black and white.
Oh.
And chameleons, so
Yeah,
chameleon can't see himself.
I'm
sort
not
of-
a game ranger. They
Turn
just,
colour.
they just told me that they're the animals that see in
Are you sure
colour.
you're not a game rat? I think deep down you want to become one.
I'm desperate. I want to retire.
We know you're desperate, but
There'll be a
No
mass
doubt about
migration
that.
of animals north.
I want to retire, become a game ranger, and have
what
a
made
little
you
bed
want to
and breakfast.
reach? I thought you were.
but nothing stops you. David Pocock went on, I think, a 6-month sabbatical.
Sabbatical?
Went, into the bush. And
he? Over here?
he's-
He's from Zim originally, isn't he?
yeah,
I was going to
He's a
say that's called
spin
walkabout.
No, there's a. No.
that's a good
That's
bar,
an
that
Australian
ball.
thing.
But,
Have you done the walkabout?
I didn't walk anywhere. I sat in a
No,
chair.
no. What's that Australian ritual that you guys do? You go into
not
the
a-
outback and
They wander around. They have to do it as a.
Ayers Rock, don't they?
It's not called that anymore, mate. You can't say that over there.
That's
Can you?
Uluru.
What?
Uluru.
No, it's there. It's the word. That's
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's changed names.
Is it?
Yep.
so wasn't it Ayers Rock anymore? I
No,
remember
it's gone.
ACDC. Did you go to the ACDC concert? in Ayers
We've
Rock?
always said you come out the closet, matey. It's fine. ACDC.
The band.
AC/DC,
Oh wait, the
Australian
you know,
Guns N' Roses.
no. Those guys.
That's Axl Rose.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is ACDC.
AC/DC.
That's him. It's a band. Those guys went to the school next to my school. So there you go. There you are. Right, we're.
Okay, well, let's talk about cricket, seeing as you got so much to say. Did you manage to watch any of the first day of the second test in Bloemfontein?
Hey, pathetic.
I know.
I'll tell you what, we've all made bad decisions in our
But I'll
life.
tell you what, you know why they made the decision.
They're scared.
Exactly. I was listening to the guys and I got home yesterday, they were all talking about it on telly and trying to be nice and saying, oh, he might have made the wrong decision there. It's the right decision. If they go in and bat, you see how much bounce there was. There was a lot of bounce in that wicket, but they're bowling 122 Ks up to 130.
I tried to.
And they're only
I
bowling
tried-
it halfway down the pitch as well.
I,
That's
I,
the
know,
other-
I tried to monitor the pace of it and just see what the fastest ball was. I think it was 132. Exactly
and that's
right.
when they opened the gates and the wind comes
Yeah,
through.
they came
and they
wind
shut 'em again.
behind.
But
I mean, pathetic.
if they'd batted first, they would have got bowled out, and that's what they're saying. If you look at that wicket, why winning the toss would you not bat first? Why would you not do that? And you only use the fear factor to do it, because they haven't got the quicks that are come in and blow you away where there might be a little bit of moisture on the first hour or so. They don't have that arsenal to do it.
But Rod, what you're saying is 100% right, but they've still bowled like rubbish. They've pitched it in short, they've banged it in on a green pitch where it's going to do a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
If you pitch it up,
millions.
but they haven't. They've pitched one up all day and got Markram out at 172 or whatever.
Well, apparently the bloke at the square leg was trying to get that. Is there $1 million up if you catch it one hand? Maybe they're involved there. I don't know. Because I was okay. No, but they're disappointing, and I think it's a good yardstick for them to go home now and say, you know what, when we go to these bigger countries and better cricketers, it's tough for them. But in their own conditions, it's pretty tough because the ball turns square and their batters play better. So, and they've beaten some big sides there. They knocked off Australia this year there. I think they've beaten South Africa in a test there. At England, they thrashed, gave them a hiding of their life over there. Any comment on that?
T20, wasn't it?
Doesn't matter. They just got a hiding.
But they're not. I mean,
they knocked you out the World Cup 2 years
ago. Well, there's lots of people getting knocked out.
Even, I mean, you just watch it. I mean, what's the point of it apart from giving the Bangladesh some experience?
You've got to play them. You have to play them.
There's no geest there, was there, Rod?
There's no geest there,
What's
mate.
the fastest you've bowled?
First class.
What's the fastest you've bowled?
I think got up to about 119, I think. No.
Flat out.
No, I reckon I don't know.
I saw him bowl at the Wanderers, He was quick, matey.
He's good, eh?
I don't know, probably, I don't know.
Especially
you should never say what you
especially getting to the bar afterwards. Very quick there.
I won that race every
Did that,
time.
matey.
No, but he bowled a heavy ball. I mean, you did.
Eh?
He bowled a heavy
I
ball.
don't know.
I watched him at the Wanderers.
Do you think you would have touched 140?
Oh, if I didn't touch 140, I'd chuck it.
It'd be 8, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't
150
be
then?
No, he was never that quick.
Probably maybe
He'd be 145.
45, somewhere around there.
I saw him.
That's brisk.
I saw Darren Scott hit him for 360.
You bring that story up.
But I did.
There was commercial rights involved, and I had to let him do it.
Never seen a bowler try so hard to get somebody out and bomb him out with bumpers. And Darren Scott just leant back every time. Whoop, 6. Whoop, 6.
On a full-size
The most
cricket field.
embarrassing day of your life. I know that for a fact. Because you cried.
The guy who cried the most was Clive Rice, who was umpiring. He was so angry.
Yeah.
He's saying, "Pup, come on, knock his head off."
Yeah.
And you tried, and you couldn't.
Well, Darren did have a tactic, which I did tell you guys about, before he started the game, because we were roomies, okay? So about 2 hours before we had to be, it was a half-time game, Red Nose Day. It was Red Nose Day. And then...
You're still wearing it.
Which suited the... Yeah.
Yeah, Darren gave us a bottle of port.
Yeah.
And we drank that. So there we are. Anyway, it was all good. All good fun for charity, Terry.
Yeah,
Who's going to win the second test, by the way?
Where? Oh, this game. I mean, mate, if Bangladesh had batted first, they'd probably be packing up by tomorrow. It'd be all over. The only thing that's going to save them is that they're going to bat. If it's such a flat wicket, which it is now, and let's say they get 300. I mean, how many can South Africa get? They could bat to the cows come home. No one's failed in this test with the bat, by the way.
I forgot to ask you.
There's no one who's failed.
Yeah, someone failed. Someone made 7.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think about the 4-day test? You think that's going to come in?
Well, I think it can only be a 4-day test if they have restrictions. If you can only bat that long, and you've got to do that, because otherwise, on these flatter wickets, you're not going to get a result. Is that a fair?
Otherwise, it'll just drift. The game will just.
It'll be boring, and you'll
Do you think
lose
it come
it.
in, Leon?
Well, there's certainly a lot of support for it, but it was also shouted down in England.
Yeah, it was. Very much.
And then with regard to our Boxing Day test, I'm actually glad you brought this up, Terry. With regard to our Boxing Day test against Zimbabwe, listen, I don't think it's going to go 5 days.
I think it's a sellout already.
PE.
It's sold out.
4,000 people walking through the gates.
Well, that's because
That's just the band members.
they let it hurt their cash.
It's free,
But seriously, I mean, there was that story that broke that the players aren't that keen on 4-day test cricket. The South African players
Yeah, I saw that.
aren't too keen.
Yeah, that is interesting because you would have thought that they'd want to save themselves for T20 and the riches that come with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Ben Stokes, that's an interesting topic at the moment, isn't it?
Well,
What's happened during the week? I've been away.
You tell
Well,
us,
no,
Terry.
no, it's just been a bit of a hit, isn't it? You know, but,
Bit of a hit.
yeah, the old thing.
So
No.
he's not going with the team now?
Well, he's not flying out apparently until the case is over and
He
solved and
hasn't
whatever the
officially been
decision
told
is.
he's not part of the Ashes side. He's not
They're
the flyover
keeping their
of the
options
team.
open. I mean, that
Yeah.
was quite clear from the statement.
Yeah.
So if they lose the first 2 tests, he's on the first plane.
No. I mean, if it's all over before the tests start, then he'll be included. That's it.
He has been replaced, inverted commas, by Stephen Finn. So
Finn,
it's not
they
like a
brought him
like-for-like player.
No,
Yeah.
sure.
So it still gives them the option of getting a
Yeah, but
genuine
Stephen
all-rounder.
Finn's not a batter, is he?
No, he's not.
That's for sure.
Not a bowler either.
Ooh,
So there's the betting for the first test. Australia 17-20 at the Gabba. When last did they lose at the Gabba? When you were there?
No.
They don't lose at the Gabba. They never lose there.
I told you the other week, it's quickest wicket. It's taken over from the Wacker now. Quickest wicket.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
quickest
okay.
wicket in Australia. Shane Warne was on telly 2 weeks ago saying it's the quickest wicket
But
in Australia.
see your fast bowlers out, eh? Patterson?
Yeah, that's not the youngster. It's Pattinson. He's out with he's had back trouble for the last
A
2 or
long
3
time,
years.
yeah.
Rooting injury.
He comes back and then he's out. But I was a big fan of England if Stokes is in that side. I really am, because he's gutsy, he fights
you've
it
always
out.
fancied
Yeah,
him, yeah.
I do. But if you take a guy out like that, it's like taking when Jacques Kallis was at his best, taking it out of South Africa. It buggers up that whole balance of the side. It really does. You know.
Might
No,
replace him
England
with
got to
Gary
have him.
Collins.
Stokes. England got to have him.
Terry, I'd be very surprised. I know the court case and there are rules because you can't leave the country until the case is that the same? I'm sure it is.
I think there are exceptions for Australia, Rod, as we've discovered over the years.
Yeah.
Well, if that was the case in Australia, nobody would travel.
Okay, we need to move on to golf, as we still need to talk about soccer
yes.
and racing. Alfred Dunhill, Terry and Liam, I know you both got opinions. Let's start off with Liam. What's your opinion?
Let's have a look at the leaderboard. And then
There it
Yeah,
is.
there we are.
Oh, there it is.
Yes.
I think Hatton will go on and win this. Purely
Do you?
based
You
on
like him, do you?
Yeah, I don't like him in that.
No,
way,
no,
but,
I know,
yeah, he's a
I know
decent
what you
player.
mean.
Yeah.
But he's very talented. The guy that surprised me, Tommy Fleetwood, you know,
63.
yeah, but he's been off for 6 weeks. You know, his partner's had a baby, their first baby, so he missed all that time.
Good thing
he's
he didn't
come
have it.
back. Goodness gracious! I mean, he was absolutely brilliant. I fancy the third man, Colsaerts, Nicholas Colsaerts, the Belgian.
To lose a runner is Paul Dunn, because he's playing good golf at the
Yeah,
moment.
what he won last week.
Yeah.
You know, he won the British Masters and playing well. Brandon Stone, that was lovely to see him there. I tell you, just a little each ways. I go for the Scottish players like Stephen Gallagher. He's one that you know, the conditions there. It just depends on the conditions now. I mean,
Here's the betting, Terry.
yeah, but there you are. Tommy Fleetwood. They're all there.
Colsaerts, 18 to 1.
Yeah, 18 to 1. That's not bad.
that's-
I think a lot of
Yeah.
this is based on where they've already played, Liam. Eh?
But even so, 18.
Where they've already played, though, don't forget if you played St
different
Andrews and you
courses.
played Canasty. Yeah,
Who?
Canasty they called it.
Canusti.
Canasty.
When the wind blows.
When the wind blows, it's very canasty. Yeah. If you fancy anything else there, I mean, you know, I wouldn't. I mean, JP Holmes. I was surprised to see him playing. But
My favourite
it's
golf...
not my favourite. I hate all the. I hate all the.
You know who my favourite golfer is? I'm not going to have a bet on him because he's rubbish. Kurdik Appy Barnrat.
Oh, yeah.
He is an inspiration to
Yeah,
me.
good. Well,
Why, 'cause you
what
can
his
pronounce
weight?
his name.
Because he's trying to lose weight, or what? Which he
Look,
has.
He looks nothing like a sportsman.
No, that's
I
exactly
mean,
right.
he actually look. I mean, with all
But
due
he can
respect,
play,
he looks
eh?
like Ravon Smith.
He does, quite
shame,
right.
shame.
Yeah, similar build.
Larger than life.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah.
And he's a good player too. He's a good player.
Does he think he's a good player as well?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's a good. I mean, it's a little bit different, isn't it? You play on 3 different courses. There's an amateur and a professional, and the professional may not qualify for the last day, but he has to play because the amateurs, you know, they've got they're combined. So it's a little bit different.
Oh, is this the one that Ernie Elsh used to play with his dad all the time?
Quite right. He's not playing with him this year.
Oh, is it?
No. Who was he playing with, Ernie? I can't remember now. Some geezer.
Well, have you ever played golf, Dom?
No, I've never.
Do
Never
any
had the
Levs play
time.
golf?
Lyle's going to take me for a golf lesson.
That's not in your favour.
No, he was great. I
Could
believe in
we,
his day he was
could
good.
we send a camera?
Sorry?
Actually,
Could we send a camera?
That's a good idea. When are you going for? We're actually going to make this happen. When are you going for golf lessons with Lyle?
Lyle?
Soon. We're going to go down the road, Joe, to that
Tommy?
club.
Tommy, yes, Tommy.
Yeah, Woodmead.
called,
Woodmead Country Club. That's where he
Woodmead
played.
Country
Yeah.
Club, He's going to
Sure, I
take me, he's going
remember.
to school me there, yeah?
Yes. Okay, a
It's a
message,
lovely facility.
message to the guys inside. Find out when this is happening. Take your
Get a
cameras. I
camera.
have to see it.
By the way, for this betting on the golf now,
Yep.
I'm going with Paul Dunn, eh?
What do you
Oh,
know?
I know
okay. He
something.
won it last year.
I don't know.
Won
I
last
don't know how to
week.
study golf, but I've got my contacts.
Has there ever been a Lebanese golfer of any note?
Yeah, I'm sure there were.
But you don't know one.
No, I don't know any of the golfers, by the way.
Anthony.
I do know Gary play very well.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he Lebanese?
No.
Oh, just checking.
No, yeah, I trained a few horses for him, but he was a legend in his day. So, yeah.
Great man.
Thanks for sharing that
man.
with us,
Great
Dom.
man.
I think we all know that.
Yeah.
He was a legend in his day. Everyone watching this says, oh, thanks.
I'm honoured to be his friend. He's a good
Quite,
guy.
quite right. Right, we need to get into football before we go back to racing. Right, World Cup qualifiers. 11 teams are now qualified
Yeah,
for
I saw
Russia.
that. Yep, quite right. I mean,
Will Argentina qualify? That is the big question.
that
isn't it?
is the big question.
They've got one
I
loss
watched
over
the
the
game
dice.
last night. I saw the highlights again last night. I mean, the goalkeeper for the other mob was magnificent. I mean, everything they threw at me got a hand.
There was a picture of Messi walking off the field. He was like, "Oh,
I know,
what do we
God,
have
hey,
to
we're
do?"
going to score. Yeah, and Jesus, when the header and looked in all the way, they put up his hand and saved it.
Do that again with your hand.
Look like that. Could have been like that. No, like that.
That looks like him Brian.
Yeah, yeah. So there we are. But Sweden, I mean, no, carry on. I mean,
yeah, okay, well, let's not keep these prices on for too long, because I also want to get into Africa. France should win that, or they part of your
quite right.
best bets?
That's one of my best bets. Yes.
Bulgaria famously dumped them out of the 94
Yeah, they did. Quite right.
World Cup.
That was when
And
the
of
big
course,
man
France
was playing
won
up
the next
front.
World Cup.
And David Ginola messed it up for them, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Group A, so we expect a few mismatches there. There's another team that's battling. Bitter disappointments, the Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands, quite right.
Are they going to make the World Cup? Probably not.
No, I don't think they are.
They're treading water.
They're treading water as well, quite right.
The best they can do, I think, is finish second. Then they've got to go to
and then you've got to be a good
playoff.
second. You've got to be in a top 8 second, haven't you?
And you still got to get through a tough playoff.
Yep.
Right, let's get into the next group and go through some games here. This will be a cracker.
I played
won't it?
against the Faroe Islands at under 23 level.
What was the score?
I think we beat them 6 or 7.
Only?
Yeah, there only, you're quite right.
Did you go there?
I mean, even Latvia can win that, surely.
Well, put your head down. Who would you go for?
Latvia. I've gone for Latvia.
Oh, have you?
Put your head down. Switzerland against Hungary. Rod, what do you think of this one?
No, well, you're not 1 to
Well,
4.
you should go for Hungary. You're always starving.
No, we ate a little bit up there. Yeah.
I bet you did.
Gee, I'm
How many bottles of wine did you take, you said?
18 bottles of red wine. He brought one home.
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah. Now we get thirsty up there. You're sitting, relaxing, and enjoying, and working.
Your son says 2 cases.
3. It was 3 boxes of 6.
Get your facts straight. Okay, so
Good
Switzerland
prices there. Switzerland at home, I tell you.
1 to 5. Oh, here's one for you, Dom.
Oh, it's a no-brainer, Lister.
Andorra.
No. Portugal will win hands down. You can't even punt on a game like this.
Well, I'll tell
Well,
you
you
what,
can all to come if you stick them all together.
take the biggest all to come of all
took
time.
8.
You
today.
guys complain about me tipping even money shot, and you can tip 1 to 50 shots.
Yeah, but I won the 50 shots win.
No. I'll just.
You banked that.
No.
Yeah.
Remember, the memory is not quite there, because a couple of weeks back when he said Swansea will never win a game, and
You won. You picked them, quite right.
All right, let's get into the next bit of games in Europe. Group H, Belgium already qualified for the World Cup, Terry. So against Bosnia. Bosnia's not a pleasant place to go.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Lukaku, I mean, they've got so many players, Belgium. They disappoint me so much, with what they've got. They should go close to winning a World Cup.
But you said that last time.
That's what I'm saying.
They've had their chance now,
disappointed.
surely.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Well, Lukaku, I'm not sure if he's going to play. But got a bit of an ankle.
Here's one for you, Liam. What do you reckon about Gibraltar?
They won't be moved in defence, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yes, Estonia, I think, will have to
They're
get through this one.
They're dead rock certainty, aren't they?
Yeah.
I played against Gibraltar. We beat them 11-1.
Who have you played against?
I played against Gibraltar. We beat them 11-1. It wasn't international.
Here's a good fact about Kiribati. Did you know it's the only country in the world that is in all 4 hemispheres?
Yeah, what time is it in Kiribati? That's also one of the good questions.
The amounts that you can learn on this show stagger.
I wouldn't want to be there if if it gets a bit tight there. Cyprus and Greece.
They don't like each other.
What?
Chuck in Turkey.
Well,
as
nor
well.
would you if somebody overran your country, would you?
What do you think will happen when Spain play Catalonia in 2 years' time?
That'd be brilliant, eh? Gee, that's some trouble there, eh?
Right, we need to talk about the African side.
He
of things.
says, he hasn't got a clue what you're
I've been away in the bush. How would I know what's been going
He
on?
hasn't got a clue. He hasn't seen the revolution. He don't know there's been a revolution in Spain.
Let's take him back to General Franco. See if he
You should sit there with one of those skull caps attached to your head, so all the information would
electric
be
chair?
Yeah, electric chair. Just to G you up a bit, matey. Bring you back to the real world. Oh, dear.
Right, let's talk about the African side of things. Dom makes Bafana certainly. Let's spend a bit of time on this game now, Terry.
Yeah,
because
sure.
backs against the wall.
Yeah,
we all
very
know what
much.
happened last time these teams met.
Yeah,
Where's the game today, by the way?
quite right. I think it's at the F&B, isn't it? And up to now, according to them, they've sold 300 tickets.
No, he said he made it. That wasn't the figure that he was supposed to.
300 tickets they'd sold. Can you believe? So there we are.
Okay, well, let's actually come back to this lad afterwards because we need to talk about Bafana. A win is so vital today to even have a hope of making Russia next year.
Yeah.
Where are we in? I mean, Rod's going to say, oh, we're 93rd in the world. You spend so much time worrying about world rankings, but in all seriousness, can we beat Burkina Faso? Because they're not a bad side.
They're not a bad side. I think we can, funny enough. You might laugh at this. I don't think... Thank you very much. I don't think Bafana are quite as bad as what the results have shown. And if we can find somebody who can put it in the back of the net, I mean, that's the cry for every team. I understand that. But I've looked at the pattern of play, the way they play. I don't think they're that bad. I'm not saying they're a great side, but I think they're good enough to win that. And I think at even money, that's not a bad.
So they need a bit of a spark. Something needs to happen for the team.
That's absolutely right. But going forward I'm quite happy. It's the last third, like a lot of the Southampton side.
And tactics that they've employed, have they looked as if they're going to go
they've looked okay. I haven't had much complaint about that, and I've been sat there and thinking they're not a bad side. You know, it's just that. You know, if you can't score goals, you're not going to win your games.
Yeah. It sounds a lot like the Springboks. They tick all these boxes and then
that's one of the best quotes of the year.
South African sport, actually.
That's the best quote of the year.
What?
If you can't score goals, you can't
you
win.
can't. But you can dictate, and you know the game's going. You know when you go forward and get on that front foot. But Southampton are the same. We've scored 5 goals. Did you know last week we had 680 passes, more than any other in the Premiership last week.
And how many did you score? 1.
And that was a centre half from a corner. Now you tell me 680 passes, but if they're going sideways and backwards, you know.
By the way, did you tell Terry we found our soccer analyst across the road?
True story. You're not going to be happy with this. Last week after the show, Dom and I walked up to Nino's for breakfast.
Yeah.
And one guy said, "Oh, you two, World Sports Betting." He said, "Yeah, it's us." He says, "I want to come on your show and tip soccer because the old man doesn't know what he's doing."
Thank you very much.
True story. He's watching again this morning.
Oh, really? What's his name?
I don't know. He works at the
Are
building.
you working? Are you having breakfast? I hope you choke on it.
Okay, so you think Bafana are going to get the job done?
I think they'll get it done today. I do.
Well, I hope you're right.
And it's even money.
Yeah, well, the security got over the roads and gone for Burkina Faso. All right, let's get into the rest of those games in Africa. I'm just going to ask Terry to perhaps pick and choose. You don't have to go through all these games.
Yeah.
Does anyone stand out for you?
No. I suppose Nigeria, wouldn't they? Zambia, would you fancy Nigeria?
Nigeria's qualified already, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly right.
Cameroon will win, Terry.
Yeah,
Boy, Algeria
against
aren't the
Algeria.
worst.
Yeah.
Maybe in Cameroon.
Cameroon.
Yeah, he said this earlier as well. What do you base it on?
I'm taking a double in South Africa and Cameroon.
Yeah, 9 to 10. You like that?
You get a 3-1 double.
So there's absolute racing certainty on that page. Absolute Tunisia. I don't care if they're going to Guinea or Guinea.
Yeah.
Tunisia cannot lose.
Yeah, I like North African sides.
Me too.
I think they've always got something.
I think they need 1 point, if I'm not mistaken, to make the World Cup.
And Morocco will beat Gabon as well at the bottom. That's a good bet.
Getting stuck into Tunisia.
You've got a fancy bit of Ghana against Uganda.
Ghana against Uganda. Uganda on.
Well, Uganda not bad. Did you see the game against it was Egypt? They went down 1-0. I watched it yesterday. That was quite good. Saha scored the goal, didn't he?
Louis Saha.
The guy across the road told me Congo and Morocco.
We're just going to use the guy across the road for everything.
Yeah.
This is only like a
to cover our bases.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the qualifying games in Africa later today, but we seriously wish Bafana all the best. We're all behind you. Julius Malema's tweet I thought was relevant. We're not a country of quitters. Let's get behind the country and hope for the best.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, because you're the only person that's active on social media. Dom only learns how to speak on a laptop this week.
Barely active.
Rod was last on Twitter 4 years ago, and you're still using a typewriter.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty much
Remington.
Huh?
That's the Rosetta Stone.
Huh?
No.
All right. Well, we are going to say goodbye to our friends on Soweto TV. Thanks very much for watching. After this, we're going to get into racing. Lots of good racing around the world, and also lead up to the next race at Flemington. So to all our friends on Soweto TV, join us again next week. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate what you do. Right, racing. Let's get into it. Dom the Bomb.
Alistair.
Hope we don't do our Tom.
You know what?
at gmail.com.
Do you remember last week the first one got beat, but we got
And
out
then
of
your
it on the
second one trotted in 4 to 1.
4 to 1.
Well, we'll do
Well
the
done.
Australian race at the end.
Okay.
Let's chat about Turfentine and Durbanville today. Of course,
Do you want to do the double with Gary? But
let's have a look at Gary's double, because even though Gary's nowhere in sight, he still sent through his information because he can't resist, the money man. We all know about this promotion. Back Gary and Dom's Rugby and Racing Mixer today and get an additional 20% of your winnings as free bets if your bet wins, so you can play with their money, so to speak. And you're going with the adventurous route, Cascapedia.
Yeah.
And Gary thinks the Springboks at plus 15.5.
Does he? What?
Gary?
50, they can get 16.5.
Okay, well, anyway, let's talk about Cascapedia.
what? Yeah, guess we'll talk about what price is the Springbok. I mean, what price are the All Blacks on the spread?
Well,
Nine
it'll be
to 10.
9 to 10.
9 to sure. I would be taking a double. Cascapedia, I think it's a good bet. It's
Well, you got
nominated.
the wrong card. You're looking at Durban.
No,
She's not running at
I
Durban.
don't need to look at the Joburg card. It's all in my head.
You've done some of Durbanville card. I gave that to you yesterday. It looks like it's been through the wash 5 times.
Yeah, but look at your card and look at my card. Usually, you don't open a book and study. That's a problem.
Thank you. Have you
And
noticed
then
that
you
as
come
well?
and guess on the show. So you see that it's actually look at Alistair's books.
Yeah.
Not even a
not even a
marking here.
scratch on
All
it.
in here.
No,
All in here.
That's impossible. You've got to open the book and mark your
Thank you,
selections.
Dom.
Whereas, look at my book. You see, there we go.
All marked.
I'd photocopy that book and take it with you.
Alistair's filled a bin on this winner house competition. All the losing tickets.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, you want to see the house he lives in, he's going for that one. It's a cracker.
No, I believe
Absolute cracker.
Alistair's out of it. So, Alistair,
You need some plastic.
What is this horse? What are you looking for, Dom? Where is it?
sorry.
Race 5?
Yeah, we're going to start. What are we talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
Tell you what, just name horses that you like. Just
you
go
could have
for
said
it.
that at the start of the show, actually. What are we talking about?
We're jumping from one subject to another. The Matcham Stakes. Who do you like?
Well, will Gold Standard be fit?
Correct. Yeah, that's the big question. If he is fit,
I like a horse that's a run a place. Our mate Art.
yes.
Did you even know it was running? See, without a book, I didn't even have to look at this last night.
Okay.
Our mate Art, Canis Bass Robinson, son of R.T. Schiller.
Who's riding?
Excellent win last time. Aldo De Meyer.
What's it drawn?
Doesn't matter. Draws mean nothing at Durbanville.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, no, we've seen horses win from draw 14 out of 14 at the new
We all
Durbanville.
know.
Is that due to the changes to the course?
Track's magnificent, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Be down there next month.
Oh, yeah.
Table Bay's a huge runner. Eh?
Well, look at the way he won the Cape Classic
Correct.
last year over the distance.
Anton's gone up for 2 rides. So he must be considered. If Gold Standard fluffs his lines today, I think Table Bay will pick up the
Going to throw
pieces.
another twist. If Gold Standard's 80% fit,
Yeah.
which is probably about
he's-
where he will be, will he win?
I think he has to be a little bit more than 80%. I think he was about 90%. Because remember, horses aren't machines. They've got to be relatively fit to win a race. It's the people on the I don't know where their mindset is. They think trainers just giving a horse a run and the horse is 60 or 70. They'll break down. They'll hurt themselves if they're that fit going into a race. A trainer gets his horse between 85 and 90% ready. And obviously to peak at 100% when the time's right for the bigger races.
Yeah.
But I think Glenn would have his horse relatively fit for this race. I don't think he's at his best, nowhere at his best. But
It's
he'll
Glenn
be in-
who? Glenn Cotson.
Glenn Cotson, yeah. He'll be about 90% ready. And he's thrown in the race at the weights. So I think he'll go very close. But if he just needs the run at the end, I think Table Bay and Anton Marcus will be there to pick up the pieces. So
Let's play a trifecta then. Table Bay, Gold Standard, and our mate Art.
yeah, we can box it. £6 box. Yeah, it's a 3-horse race. There's nothing else in the race.
Diana Stakes also sponsored by World Sports Betting. I know you had a look last night. You haven't touched my card with a pen though.
No, I'm not going to mark your card, Alistair. But
You don't want to give away your secrets.
you know what happened yesterday, by the way?
Probably not a lot.
I was sitting. I went out the studio. I went out the studio, so I see Alistair log onto his World Sports Betting account, and he was going through all my stuff, punting the horses before I even started the show.
You're joking.
Yeah,
I
can
thought
you
they
believe that?
banned that here. I thought they stopped it. Because if you're getting paid, you've got to study yourself. And
Yeah, well, no, look at his book. So, anyway, yeah, and same story, Alistair. I like give me 6. It's weighted to win.
Yes.
There's not much in this race that can trouble her. She's a top-class
The way
filly.
Good Time Girl won last time, though, was impressive.
Yeah, and like I said, Anton Marcus came up for 2 rides, and that's the other one. So, yeah. But no, I'm going give me 6, and I'm going to go with the Anton Marcus horse in the first leg.
Okay, we don't have too much time left because we still need to do best bets and get through Flemington Race 8. Just quickly, Cascapedia at Serpentine today. She is, of course, nominated for the Summer Cup. Coming off bottom weight there.
Yeah, she's a classy filly. She's won 2 in a row now, and she's on the up. And I think they've got, they think the world of her. And if she's going to have any chance of getting into the Summer Cup, never mind being nominated there, she's got to win this convincingly and obviously win a smaller feature leading up to the Summer Cup.
Okay, so what can we take a double into with that Flemington race number 8?
Flemington race number 8, we're taking a double with number 11.
Merriest.
No, sorry. So my glasses. Number 9.
Jesus, this panel's gone. Gone.
Miss
I
Rock.
put my glasses on.
Miss Rock.
Number 9, Miss Rock. There's the value for you, 6-1, Nelly.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get 6-1 if you ask. And each way bet, nice each way bet. And I think the guys can have a bit of a win bet on it. It will go very close. Its form's good, drawn nicely, and it's going to go very close to winning.
There's Clive Eckstein running, Liam.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
There, number 5.
Number 5.
Jeez, I thought you said French emotion. Or
French. So that's Flemington race number 8. So we're shouting home, Miss what?
Miss Rock.
Miss Rock.
Yeah.
Glad you remembered that. Well done, guys. Let's get into best bets then for the weekend. See what the guys have come up with. Come up with more than this. Bradford to beat NK Dons in League 1. Do you rubber stamp that, Terry?
I would have thought so. I haven't got a clue what the form is.
Shrewsbury haven't lost a game.
Shrewsbury to beat Warsaw.
Haven't lost a
Played
game.
there.
Top of the log.
Hey.
And then I've also got India to beat Australia in the first T20. Do you agree with that, Rod?
Yep. I back India and everything.
Yep. And then a Red Bull driver to
Although the 2 opening bats from Australia are firing at the moment. They could take the game away early.
Warner and Finch. Quite right. Good point. Never thought of that. Rod McCurdy, New Zealand to beat the spread of -60. What is that at the bottom?
It's a 1 to 10. It just helps you a little bit. I think South Africa.
1 to 10? You mean 1 to 50?
Yeah, well, anyway, it's up there, 1 to 10.
I
Climb
hope
in.
it rains for 3 days.
Hey?
I hope it rains for 3 days.
Yeah.
No one's going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Right, Liam, what have you
yeah,
done?
this looks a bit busy, doesn't it?
Yes.
New Zealand to beat the spread was not by much necessarily, but they will. I'm quite bullish about Australia going down to Argentina. Rico Ioane getting on the try scoring sheets this afternoon.
Good player.
And then there is a... No, that was supposed to be taken off. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
The Japanese double, Sebastian Vettel to win the Japanese Grand Prix and Marin Cilic to win the Japanese.
He's got Zverev in the final, doesn't he?
Has he? I don't think he's played the semi.
No, semi's not played yet.
I don't think the semi's been played
so.
yet. No.
Oh, okay. You've got a vendetta against Zverev and you keep catching him right.
Ah, cheers,
Cherry's come up with the
Cherry.
biggest all to come of all time. 7 matches.
Get in there,
I'll tell you
mate.
what, just look at the countries on the right-hand
One of those
side.
games
Get in there,
And
mate. Hey!
the population of those teams on the right-hand side probably comes to about 40.
10. Or 11, because we've got a team. Yeah.
What would this add up to, Terry? What would this be?
It'd probably be about 6, 7 to 1.
Would it?
I say all those teams together. 1 to 50, 1 to 40, 1 to 30.
So, Don, what would you be getting? 2 to 1? Maybe?
Thanks,
Yeah,
Terry.
but it's the interest.
Between the two of you, you've completely wasted our time with those best
No, got to get in, matey. Whoosh.
Hey, got mine
I
2
think
up
the
last week.
Andorra game might get abandoned because of you know what. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna. It's not gonna be.
No, but that don't count as abandoned.
Get
So
your
that's
money
You're
why.
gone. All right, that's pretty much that. Thank you very much for watching. Liam, thanks very much. Dom, thanks very much. Terry, thanks very much. And Rod, thanks very much. Right, we'll be back again next week. Thanks very much for watching. Get all those bets on with World Sports Betting. Enjoy the weekend. Lots of big racing, lots of big rugby, lots of football in the World Cup qualifiers, also Formula 1 and cricket coming up.